Hello, hello, hello. Turku, are you with me? So, hello everyone, and I will say it in Finnish. Mitä kuuluu Turku? So, my name is Kamilla Sultanova, and it's my absolute pleasure to stay here in Turku School of Economics with the University of Turku with all the different partners that made this event happen. And I just gave a big virtual hug to Tarek and Halil. Aren't they amazing? So, anyways, I'm here to tell you three things today. A little bit about my journey, which brought me from Uzbekistan to Denmark and then Finland, then how you can actually turn the city of Turku or anywhere you want to come to Finland or you are already residing in Finland, how can you turn it into community and really make it feel like yours and you belong? And the third, I will share some tips that you can screenshot and really figure out ways why is actually social capital important. Dignity is part of your life and success. And so really warm welcome. So Turku, actually, I found out is a very special place because it's, of course, first capital of Finland, but also a hard home of Aura River. And it's also home to Paavo Nurmi, one of the greatest runners in the world, Olympic champion. So really, it's a warm city, and I worked in shipping, and so there's a lot of big shipping, heritage here. So what makes me stand here today? I came as an international student from Uzbekistan. If some of you are listening, I know there's someone from Kyrgyzstan on the list, so hello for my fellow Central Asian. There is so many on the line with us today, and I want to say that Finland is the best place to engage and to really start your tribe and find your ways to fantastic different career options that there is. But you need to start from a student identity, start from like zero, and then figure out ways to say, okay, who is there, what are the networks, and what are the support networks that you can tap into? And it's, for me, was my way. I started in Denmark, and it was in 2002, so I came as a teenager, and for me, my savior guardians were my mentors and my teachers. So those were the first ones to really make me feel part of a Danish community. I worked in shipping, as I said already. I've had 7 years of shipping experience, and I studied communications in Aarhus Business School, so I didn't really get to work with communications. But anyhow, I increased my level of understanding what is logistics, shipping, and it took me to around the world as a girl from a double landlocked country to work with captains of the ships that sail in Amazon and in Singapore or in Bermuda. It was really fascinating to just be flexible. By the way, that job landed in the first financial crisis. That was my first crisis. Right now, I'm living my second. As a speaker, all the events are wiped out. I'm so happy to be here on stage. Halil, I could actually pay to be here right now. I'm serious, it's so nice. I mean, it's not about the lights or anything, but just really feel valuable and feel useful. And I'm not the essential profession right now, right? But anyhow, inspiration is so important. So in the sense of shipping career, I also quit my job when I moved to Finland as a spouse. And as a spouse, it was funny because I got a job already here through Copenhagen, and it was really easy to move. But my husband, who is Finnish, he thought that I'll just plug and play. And that wasn't easy. So Finnish society was also different, of course, different from Denmark. But in Denmark, they say, "Rød grød med fløde." Say it with me. Rød grød med fløde. It's a Danish strawberry dessert. It's okay. If you fail, it's okay. You pass. It's really difficult to say it. But the Danish language was difficult. And then I moved here. I was like, oh, shit. I need to learn Finnish, which I did, actually. I went on 8 months of class, and I did a lot of different opportunities. So I volunteered my life to belong. So in Finland, last 6 years was super amazing because I got already the experience from Denmark, and Finland is the best experience for me that you understand the potential of one voice, and you can use that your initiativeness to really start and build up something that you really want to do or join and contribute. And this is something what we're talking right now. You see in COVID, how many volunteer stories have you heard around? There's been so much of social capital exchange. In Tallinn, there was a black guy delivering help to elderly lady. She never saw a black guy before. And these are beautiful things that people meet. They become more tolerant. And when you volunteer, it's like, you break stereotypes and shatter those ideas who can do what, So I know I know, Finland has double reputations. There's one which is first country in work-life balance, third best country in innovativeness, first country in 3 times already happiest country in the world, which is the good news. But the bad news is 85% of the jobs are not advertised. Yeah. So what does this happen? It's also, been claimed as one of, really not nice racist countries in Europe. Ooh. But that's why I'm trying to make all my efforts to make diversity and inclusion tangible, personal, and profitable. So I work with experimentation in different municipalities in the city of Helsinki region, with different municipality of Vantaa, Espoo, and Helsinki. I run Hanken International Talent here now. And I work actually with public sector stakeholders. So I do lobbying. I do not just lobbying, but create success stories so that those of you who are listening here, you're represented in my stories. That we all have an innate need to stand out and to belong. So that 2 things we're trying to understand. So why diverse inclusion is the best way to better earning, better working, and better living. Because all the different researchers say that it's so much nicer when we are together, where it's much more fun. We innovate better products. We respect our customer base when we represent them at the offices, and it doesn't matter which diversity we're talking about, not just gender, and ethnic diversity. There's so many different, right now, inequalities which coronavirus brought out, and I'm just super happy that every magazine right now, business magazine, radio station, they're so talking about the need for unconscious bias training, the need to think differently, how we treat each other at work. Take COVID and just really bring it out to say how we want to be as ourselves. How can you bring the whole of a person and, to a study environment, to an office, to a study club or a hobby club. So these are the things that I do just in Helsinki, but also I promote diversity inclusion in Uzbekistan. So my way of building community and belonging was a lot through volunteering. And because it affected me so much, I promote this to my international students in Hanken School of Economics. I promote it through my NGO, which is Global Dignity Finland. It's a part of global NGO started by Crown Prince of Norway. And yes, it enables me to connect to different people around the world because I was initiative and I was hungry for connection. And something about identities, when you already are in a global space, you need to understand that in any city, in any community, we may have different ideals, what do I want to represent here? But you need to adopt different identities. I speak Russian, I speak Uzbek, I speak Danish, and all these communities are part of me in Helsinki. I go to Danish embassy as hey, har du det dejligt? Det er rigtig godt at være her i dag. Then I go to Uzbek community and say, assalamu alaikum, yaxshimisiz, in choychasmın, paloyimiz, mınamaklams. Then I go to Russian party. Ну, здравствуйте, ну что мы сегодня будем с вами делать? Understand? So there's different multiple identities in you. You don't need to think that if you only speak one language, if you only come from one country, that puts you in a bucket. So think of these identities that enables you to be helpful to your future, university space, to a future internship space, or to a future employer, right? And what is also interesting right now is the community building part. Corona brought us really uber locally. I have become such a local person in Helsinki. I live in Eastern Helsinki called Vuosaari. Vuosaari is east, and I became so attached to it with that forest, and there is a lot of ethnic shops, and I feel I can always buy my fresh coriander, and it really brings me feel okay, wow, these are things that really matter to me. And so I know that in COVID there's been a lot of inequality and also tensions between ethnic groups. So I wanted to show who are the community builders in Helsinki area. So I did a webcast. You can check it out. It's called Rise in Unity. So Rise in Unity because I believe in power of collective action. When I didn't feel welcome, I went through different volunteering options. I ran political campaigns for my friends. She's now a member of European Parliament. I've been doing stuff in the Helsinki region with Global Dignity for secondary school students. And that also brought me to meet Obama. That was really cool. And then I also did stuff with other NGOs here this summer. And you know, that Rise in Unity webcast brings those people that help me or I help them. And it shows that to really build a community and make it your own is first you need to do what you like. It's so funny, but you need to know like, hey, what drives me? What gives me energy? So you do that. The second thing is that because you like and you know what you're doing, you have your different, you study biochemistry, you study business, information, intellectual property law, whatever. You take that into use and you harness your passions, you write about it, you build up online presence that enables you to meet like-minded people. So you join a community. Any Facebook group right now, everything is online, And so the third thing, once you're part of the community and support it, you get a kick out of it. You get engaged. You visit a webinar or a Zoom, and you have that online connection. Right now, I mean. And then the third thing is that enables you to build confidence, presence, and that worthiness that say, hey, I'm ready to build myself up for a larger community, So these are the things that I learned from the webcast community building. There's something that is new for me. And I want to advise you to really start being curious in your environment right now, and that you can actually, right now, where you are right now, you are shaping a community with your action and with your inaction. So in that sense, you cannot expect that in Finland that things will be served to you on a silver platter. And we have this lifelong learning policy that we always need to be upgrading our skills 10% on year on average. And that how you make yourself relevant to your future employer and just also feel happy here is really up to yourself, being curious and being proactive. So what I advise right now to do to build a community, I will have small links for you, but I would advise to you to use the webinars, Zooms, LinkedIn Live, any of those sessions that you're having right now to build a authentic connection to the speakers, to the audience, to those people and ask relevant, interesting questions where you're actually authentic. So once you have the curiosity, you then try to tap into those speakers in Finland just to recognize who are these people, why are they so interesting to you? You tap in, you find out who they are, and then you reach out to them. They're actually really approachable in Finland. I met some of the most amazing people that would be oh my God, I can just talk to him and her and say you, not Mr. or Mrs., That power structure here is super cool. It's non-existent. I mean, of course, you need to treat each other well. But so when you have the curiosity, you have the context, find out who they are, and then you show yourself relevant. Is it what's your ask, right? You need to be quite direct what you ask, not hey, I want your job, but try to say how can the person be interested in you, and then try give you either insight, recommendation, and it really works well. This is how I done some of the greatest events, and I call today and employ to run for companies. Engage companies to become mentors for international students. And this is where how we're really driving impact. So with that, I want to say that some of the links here that I want to recognize is that those are the links to both in Turku and also in Helsinki, national platforms. Just screenshot it and see what are the ways that you can tap into communities even before coming here. Yeah. So one of the first ones you see, Turku Empower Wednesdays. I want to recognize one person who's actually here in the room. Her name is Lucia Williams. She had a really difficult last name. Yeah, she showed me the finger, okay? So Lucia Williams, she comes from Italy, and she started a project within International Working Women of Finland, and a lot of different stakeholders who are supporting her events and lots of student international focused events that help you also find your space under the Finnish sun. So do reach out to Empower Wednesdays, and maybe you can also reach out and connect to them, or maybe you can also do your own events. It's an interesting time we live in, because I just encourage you, don't be just a consumer. Be creator. This is I mean, I know I'm super like anxious and like not anxious, like energetic. I want to do all these things, and this is just in my nature. But just do it, and this is the best part in Finland. I mean, we need you as presidents, as NGO leaders, as education, like teachers, career counselors. We need representation. And if you want to run for office, I'll coach you personally, because I've been coached by European Political Mentoring Network a few years back. And Sirpa Pietikäinen, MEP, who is a Finnish member of parliament, she's really approachable. So run for it. There is no, like, I know there is barriers, but I think if you really think higher and dream louder, you can really do it. Okay, so what else I want to tell you today? I think what I want to tell you is that the jobs here are super hard to find. Corona didn't do us any joy or any pleasure. 85% of the jobs in Finland are not advertised, so this is why you need to build social capital. And that social capital is building trust to yourself, to that you matter, your perspectives matter, and that knowing that someone trusts in you and you tap into the communities because people want to engage, they love speaking English, they love to hear all these different languages, you know, like just come to Itäkeskus, just to, you know, where I live in my hood, and you'll see how different vibes that we have here. You want to also think that social capital is not one-way street, that somebody's going to serve it to you. So be curious, find your context, and you have the relevance. Curious, context, and relevance, okay? And then when they reject your story, when they reject you, you need to understand they don't reject you personally for the job or interview, whatever. They reject the story. So just like, you know, tweak how they change it and work on your, CVs, your beautiful online social presence, how you really reach out and show your passion for your job, for your professional field. This is actually one of the differences that I have learned. I graduated 2008. And so you needed to have an internship or a traineeship to get a full-time job. Today you need to have internship and traineeship, and you should need to have a very fancy LinkedIn profile, yeah? So what else have I told you today? I want you to think that whenever you find yourself in a way when you want to connect really to people, you can use online tools to really serve you. Be helpful, be valuable, and be authentic. I think that really works in Finland. And just be direct in some of the ways, because Finland is suoran asian. It's like, cut the crap and get to the point. So yeah, what else I want to say is, just 1 second. Okay, there was my notes. So what I want to say is, whenever other hour is uncertain, I want you to be creative. And if you do want to tap into more of diversity and belonging, inclusion, how to really like find and build your community within your sphere. It doesn't have to be in Turku. It can also be in Helsinki, in Finland in general. I invite you to join my webinars and sign up on an email here, and we can really connect and prepare you for a ride where you or your spouse, or if you're considering to move to Finland, you're going to remove that barrier of insecurity and see who cares about me. People really want you to succeed. So are you ready for your Finnish adventure? Because I'm ready to serve you, so let's connect and belong. Thank you.
Wow, this was amazing. By the way, guys, I have to give a disclaimer. As you guys heard, she's willing to help and she's coaching. And as a matter of fact, as soon as we were talking on the phone, this is me. Dude, hello? Hey, Tarek, I was just coaching a group in Vanta and we were talking about pitching. So she is one of the best coaches, I have to say. And if she gives you this, please take her advice. Now, as we said, guys, earlier, we will have a chat box, and we already have a few questions. I'm not checking my Instagram, promise. We're actually checking the questions right now.
Okay.
And our first question is actually very interesting. It comes from Wenja.
Okay.
And she's asking if we have any NGOs related to gender or minorities in Turku or in Finland.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. There are a few of them, and I would recommend Neighborhood Mothers. I gave an interview in the summer how to really strive as an immigrant woman, and they're doing an amazing job. It's not just for mothers. There's also Mothers in Business that actually connects people with minority backgrounds and Finnish women. That's really amazing. Empower Turku, Wednesday Turku, they bring a lot of women from an array of diverse backgrounds. So really when you go in and search either in English or in Finnish, you can find that. But Naapuri-aidit, Empower Wednesday Turku, Mothers in Business, and then International Working Women of Finland.
Wonderful. And speaking of empowering Wednesdays in Turku, I'll be coaching myself as well.
Yes, in December.
On the 2nd of December. So join us, guys, there. We have acing your interviews techniques. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again for an amazing talk. Well, I'll just pick another question from the list. So Russia is actually asking, how do you reach out in a Finnish society? Any tips like for different approaches, like connecting with people?
Yes. So what I did before I knew I was going to move to Finland, I found like an Uzbek community and Russian community on Facebook, and I started like haggling them like, hey, what's up? I'm moving here. So what should I know beforehand? But no, I mean, of course I could just like go individually or go to community, but really think of first the communities in language that you speak is much easier, but that's not everything because there's also divisions in groups and like not everything is like according to your interests. Then in university, you can also find a lot of groups that offered by the student societies. Like in Hanken, for example, there's beautiful sports associations. There's so many different ways you can volunteer. You can get credits for volunteering. It's so amazing.
Nice.
So a lot of times just tap into what brings you to Finland. If it's a study, university is your first stop. And then you go on Facebook and knock yourself out.
Oh my God.
Based on interests.
Of course. And
Yes.
you know, that you mentioned Hanken, you have the award-winning community building and talent attraction.
Well, yes, it's part of the business Finland's talent attraction retention practices. It's not wow. It's difficult, Khalil.
It's difficult.
Every year.
Wow, difficult.
It's it's maybe a few years. It's going to be like just a walk in the park. But right now we need to believe in mentoring and how we can drive the mentoring into talent recruitment because we want to say you give 6 times lunches with the student, and then maybe engage 2-3 months in an internship or a traineeship. And after that, there's actually companies hiring these people. And we really opened the doors for students who never been in that office or like companies that never recruited a student. And now they're returning companies. So I think mentoring is a really beautiful initiative. And also ask for that if you're coming here and say, where can I mentor? Ask them for university or college. Or either in TE-toimisto, immigration stuff, centers,
Wonderful. And our next question actually is a hard one. Be prepared.
Okay.
So if finding a job is hard,
Right.
why even stay here?
Why stay here? Well, the ring is here.
Oh.
No, of course you can move out. There's statistically 2% of global workforce. They will be always moving around. But for
2%.
me, I'm just a sucker for nature. I'm 36. I've been traveling around the world, and I'm really liking this base because in Finland, you have space and you have like. I like Denmark too, don't get me wrong. And
Sure.
I think what makes you stay here is that you need to understand what really drives you. It's not just the salary or it's not just the job. There's also other values that are important to you. I feel so valued in this society, and I feel I can give so much to Finland, and I actually use Finland as strategic location. It's one of the best countries in the world, and if I want to go out and make a change, like either social entrepreneurship or startup, people will take you much more seriously when you're in Finland rather than you sit in some other country, which is maybe have problems getting a loan, getting funding, and getting just that support, So I think the equality, the freedom, the engagement, and my husband keeps me here.
We love your energy and your passion, Kamilla. And we actually have a interesting question actually from Aslihan. He's
Okay.
also very interested in this fire and his passion and energy. And he's actually asking if you have any coaching or training courses. He's planning to come to Finland to study
Right.
educational science.
Okay.
And he would like to come here for the next year, and he would love to get connected with
Yes.
you and like.
I hope you got my email. So hello@kamillasultanova.com. So we will be having these webinars, and I want to say welcome to everyone. You are welcome here. Look at us today. Representation. We have so many people that are just making great things happen, and we need you to be part of the change. So just welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kamilla.